really going out there and pursuing something that is unique to you and something that like you're actually interested in. You have a vested interest in. Maybe it relates to your major. It's something, that you actually are passionate about. And going out there and having some support, but really being told, look, this is your project. You're going to make of it what you will. And going out there, having to find your own sources, having to do your own research, being responsible for your own project. And then knowing at the end of the day that, your paper was a result of all of that research and all the work you put into it in Spain was pretty cool.
It's very important that the students find a passion because it's a lot of work. They do so much research before they leave, and then they have to make that step of talking to somebody in Spanish, a stranger, about something that they're interested in but may not know everything about. So they're getting out of their comfort zone. This is our lab. Students stay on campus and work in biology labs and chemistry labs, but this is our lab. So for Hispanic Studies majors, I think it's important for them to understand that they're doing field work in the discipline, and that involves reading. It involves reading text, looking around, finding out what's going on, and connecting the context to the text, basically.
I had been to Cadiz some years before, just on my own. I don't know if Carla had been yet to Cadiz.
I had once.
Also had been, and we both thought this would be an amazing place for a study abroad program. It doesn't have the number of English-speaking students that some cities in Spain have. It's beautiful. The people are so warm and open and welcoming. It just seemed like an ideal site.
Well, the fact that I could write that much about a single topic, I think, was a very was very meaningful to me. Being able to stay over there for 5 weeks and understand what that's going to be like, and certainly one of the big things was, holy cow, I can actually write, 8 to 10 pages on a single topic.
Well, I was lucky enough that I chose a topic that I thoroughly enjoy. So from the get-go, I was really interested in it and really interested in researching fashion. Even here at William & Mary, they had a bunch of books that swam on fashion. And as soon as I got there, it was wonderful that they actually had this festival that I was able to contact the directors. And honestly, this program has put me in such good contact with the directors, with some of the designers, that I'm Facebook friends with one of the designers, and there's a constant exchange of contact.
We tell them at the outset, you need to think about something that you feel passionate about, an academic pursuit that really matters to you. And so this was a perfect example in the case of Chantal. She was extremely interested in that topic, and part of what we do in the 1-credit course is they're reading newspapers, and we're encouraging the students to look at what's going on in Spain today, to look at local press in Cadiz. And she, on her own, found that there was a major fashion event that's held now. It's been held several summers in a row in Cadiz. And when she got to Cadiz, she made some really remarkable connections with some of the designers themselves.
The fact that I actually got to ask the designers, and they told me what they want the public to know about them, what they want the public to know about their collection, was absolutely amazing, because I've watched a million fashion documentaries, fashion shows, and I would never know. And it really sunk in with me that I was on their level for once, and I felt like I was one with the fashion show.
Ethan is a Hispanic Studies major. He's also a pre-med student. And so from the outset, he also was very clear when we, in addition to the class, we meet one-on-one with the students to help them begin to focus and direct their interest. And he was very clear that as someone who's planning to go into a medical field, he was interested in public health. He was interested in issues related to health, and he was intrigued by the fact he learned early on that Cadiz has one of the highest rates of obesity in the country of Spain, and that there are many initiatives in place that are seeking to treat that sort of a new epidemic.
And obesity is not really a huge issue like throughout Spain as a whole, but it really is when we like look at Andalusia specifically in the south, and then even in Cadiz it's even more of an issue. So the paper really focuses on this transition from a Mediterranean diet to kind of this transition to now we're seeing a lot of international influence, a lot of fast foods, a lot of candy shops, and just the whole culture of that, and that progression and the kind of outlook and how that's affecting public health, and some statistics in there really showing that it's an issue public health wise. So it was really helpful that we had two people through the Mundo Lengua program that were like willing to help us. Alci and Alejandro, they were both really helpful, and they actually hooked me up with a physician out of the Puerto del Mar, which is the local hospital in Cadiz, and I was actually able to interview him and kind of get his perspective on this whole transition. He had a friend who actually wrote his thesis for medical school on this transition, and he was kind of able to really help provide some background. And even just kind of tangentially related to that, I was able to shadow a physician in Spain and kind of drew from that and helping to write my paper. So just like a whole bunch of experiences that come along with the research.
So they're there as students. They are tourists as well. They travel around while they're there. And yet the research project positions them out of the classroom. It positions them not as a purely outsider or just a tourist, but rather they come to Spain with information that they have begun the research at William and Mary. We want to run a 1-credit spring course. And so the students begin to develop that project before they ever get to Spain. So they're beginning to inform themselves about a particular topic. They begin to read in academic journals about the different issues related to that topic, so that then when they get to Spain and they get situated, even as an opener for their families, their host families, as they get to know their host families, they'll mention this particular issue that they're studying while they're in the city, and it just opens doors. It allows them to come to another culture. For many of them, it's the first time they've been to Spain, but it allows them to enter into that culture with a different point of view and a different position.